Welcome to the Other Side Diaries. Hello and welcome. My name is Lori, and I am a spiritual intuitive who channels messages from beyond through my dreams. In this podcast series, we embark on a journey to explore the moments that bridge our world with the mysterious realm beyond. Each episode invites you to listen and reflect as I share my encounters with those who have passed, along with the insights I receive from what I refer to as God. Together, we will find comfort and understanding in the connections that transcend life itself. Remember, there's no need to fear death. It's merely a passage into another part of our journey. Today, we share a poignant episode titled A Winter's Evening's Encounter, Standing at the Veil. For many years, my family and I lived in a quiet, sprawling farmhouse nestled on 20 acres along the serene stretch of Route 6 in northeastern Pennsylvania. It was a peaceful sanctuary, shielded by an embrace of towering trees that created a world of our own. The outside world seemed so distant from this haven, where the rush of everyday life faded into the background, and time felt like it slowed. Our home was built on a property that gently sloped upward. It was partially hidden from view by the trees that lined our property. The road itself, though often active with the hum of passing cars, felt like a distant echo in the tranquility of our space. The sounds of life outside were muted by the thick green barrier surrounding us. One cold winter's evening, as the air hung heavy with stillness, a light, cold breeze blew rhythmically against the house, was soon shattered by a jarring crash, a violent collision that struck through the calm like a thunderclap. The sound reverberated through the walls of our home, an unsettling clash that left an eerie silence in its wake. My husband's voice broke the stillness, repeating over and over, "This is not good. This is not going to be good." We rushed to the front of the house where a sudden flood of light illuminated the living room. Car headlights shone, sharp, cut through the windows, their glow stark against the dim evening, casting a strange and almost ominous light inside. The headlights were out of place, too direct, and facing up the hill in front of our house. The road below ran perpendicular to our house, and no car should have been angled toward our living room. The lights outside suggested something had gone terribly wrong, and that chaos was undeniably unfolding just beyond the trees. My husband, always quick to act, rushed out to help, his sense of duty and care propelling him forward. I, on the other hand, found myself strangely still. I have to admit, like many people, I am drawn to the drama of life's sudden, unexpected moments, like a spectator at a train wreck, unable to look away. But that night, I was strangely content to stay at home, not out of fear, but out of a deep, instinctual sense that I wanted to be home. The confusion beyond felt distant, and I knew my place was there. Our youngest daughter, feeling the pull of curiosity, ventured out to gather information. When she returned, her face was pale, shaken by the sight of the scene on the road. Emergency vehicles lined the highway for what seemed like miles, and the area was a whirlwind of flashing lights and frantic movement. Finally, unable to resist, I went upstairs to the second-floor hallway window, my eyes drawn to the growing spectacle below. The night had transformed into a disorienting dance of red and blue lights, emergency vehicles flashing in a frantic rhythm, their beams reflecting off the rain-soaked pavement like a strobe light show. The sirens wailed, filling the night air with a haunting symphony of urgency. It was in that moment that I felt a presence behind me, quiet and steady. A young man stood just to my right. He was taller than me, his frame strong, but his demeanor peaceful, almost serene. We stood together in silence, watching the chaos unfold below us, a quiet connection in the midst of the storm. His presence wasn't unsettling, quite the opposite. There was a calmness to him that was almost grounding. Below us, the first responders were working with fierce determination, their efforts more than just a job. They were the lifeline in that moment, holding on to hope while navigating a scene of devastation. I could feel the weight of the lives hanging in the balance. We stood there, side by side, silently bearing witness to the fragility of existence. At that moment, I had no idea of the extent of the accident, how many cars or how many people were involved, All I knew was that the sheer number of emergency vehicles present indicated it was a serious situation. As we watched, I felt a whisper touch my consciousness, his voice echoing within me. Man, this sucks. It was a simple statement, yet its depth of empathy resonated far beyond the words. After a moment or two, he was gone. I have to admit, oddly, I didn't think too much about the encounter. It was as if time slowed while he was there, but once he was gone, everything returned to normal, and I hardly even considered it. It all happened both very slowly and in a fleeting moment all at once. My husband was the first on the scene, and when he returned home, he shared the tragic news. A young man had lost his life, and he feared there might be more casualties. It was then that the young man standing in back of me came full circle into my memory. I was very concerned now, but my husband reassured me that the young man who died did not suffer, suggesting he passed away the moment the accident occurred. I then recalled our encounter at the window. I knew without a doubt that it was the young man's essence that stood behind me, and I wished I had more foresight in trying to communicate. However, after receiving dozens of messages from those who have passed on, I understood that things always happen the way they are meant to. I later learned that the incident involved a car that had crossed the median, colliding with another vehicle. The crash claimed the lives of two young freshmen from the local college. A young man, bright and vivacious, and a young woman passed later at the hospital. The young man had been studying wildlife biology and was known for his radiant personality, his smile lighting up every room he entered. Reflecting on that evening and the years that followed, I began to understand why I had felt so rooted in place, so reluctant to leave the safety of our home. The young man with the radiant smile, I believe, needed that brief moment among the living, wanting to cross over among the normalcy of life. And in that shared silence, we stood together in sacred space. I knew his heart was heavy with sadness, but it wasn't for himself, rather for the lives disrupted by the tragedy. He was not afraid, he was simply there, observing and offering a quiet form of honoring those still fighting. The experience left me with a powerful reminder of life's fragility and of how the line between life and death is so fine. That night, I shared a space with a young man, a space between worlds, where the living and the departed could silently acknowledge each other's existence. We watched together as some fought to save lives, while others stood at the crossroad. In that brief shared moment, I felt the profound vulnerability of humanity, as well as its strength. This young man faced his transition with grace and dignity, and the quiet presence that bore witness amidst the chaos was a testament to both his character and the beauty of his life. As we conclude today's episode, I invite you to reflect on the moments that remind us of our shared humanity and the strength that lies within us all. Thank you for joining us for this episode of the Other Side Diaries. As we reflect on these profound connections that transcend life and death, remember that those we love are never truly gone. They continue to offering guidance and comfort in our darkest hours. If you enjoyed this story, please subscribe to our podcast and share it with others who may find solace in these tales from the other side. Until next time, hold your loved ones close and keep an open heart to the whispers of the universe, for they are the threads that weave us together in this grand tapestry of existence. Thank you for listening.